What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video I want to talk about poured silver. Thank you so much for watching my video, I sincerely appreciate it. This one is about poured silver. Now, I've had some thoughts that I wanted to get out regarding poured silver for a while, and I'm starting to get a decent little collection going from a bunch of different silver pourers. So this video is just my thoughts in general on poured silver, kind of what I view it as. And so, again, I'm just a dude here on YouTube with my own opinions, so take it for what it's worth. But let's talk about poured silver. So first off, I want to say I love poured silver. I'm a huge fan of hand poured silver. I'm not a massive fan of machine poured silver. There is a little bit of a difference. Machine poured silver, usually you can find sometimes vintage bars and whatnot that were machine poured. There still are machine poured bars today. Mostly they're bars, and you can find them out there. But I'm not a massive fan of the machine poured stuff. I'm more a fan of the hand poured stuff. And some of this stuff on the table I have poured myself, like this one. This was one of my Baggins bars from when I first started pouring. Really cool ripples on that one. Let's see, of course I got my Freed Dragons Dragon, my golf ball that I recently cast, my first sand cast, that was super fun. And then we have a nice assortment from other silver pours that I've done trades with. We got a lot of really cool pours in the community, and there's so many more that I still need to trade with. This is just a very small fraction of the people out there. Just to name a few, we got Bunker Bullion. Let's see. Of course, we got M. Sagan. Mike does the Redneck Stacker rounds. Redneck is actually pouring his own silver now. Let's see, we've got VC Coins Nevada, of course MK Bars, very awesome. Dean, Tomoko's Enterprise, he's got a couple different pieces in here. Let's see, we got Silver Mac up in the corner with these couple. Corn Dog 42, what's up with these ones? Nautical Silver, SJ, so many cool silver pours. Lemonhead Penny, Coinman 5000, Backyard Scrapping, Dirt 30. So as you can see, I've done a bunch of trades with different pours, and that's one of the things that I really like about pouring silver, is there's so many cool people that make their own artwork and you can trade them for it. One thing I do want to talk about is how I view poured silver. I do view it as sort of collector pieces. I don't view it as silver bullion. It is very hard to get money from poured silver if you take it into a coin shop, especially if that's not what they normally buy. I mean, coin shops, most of the time their bread and butter would be like silver coins. So hand poured stuff like this, I view it as art for sure. But are you even gonna get spot for it at a coin shop if you go to sell it? I don't know, it just depends. If you sell it on eBay, maybe you can get more money. I don't know. Again, it just sort of depends. I view it as collector's stuff. I mean, I like purchasing it. I like trading for it. I think it's awesome. Beautiful artwork. I consider all hand poured silver to be art. So even if you're just pouring a bar, like something simple like this, a little bar here from Coinman 5000. This doesn't even have ripples or anything like that on it. It just has some stamps, stamp 47. That's why I traded for this one, because I love that number 47. It's a number for silver. But either way, I mean, he had put a lot of work into this himself, polishing it up, actually pouring it. A lot of work went into it. So even something simple like a hand poured bar, I do consider to be artwork. And you can put even more and more time into it once you get into the cast pieces. Like take a look at this Corn Dog here from Corn Dog 42. He put a lot of work in this, a lot of time. And so cast stuff is definitely artwork. Poured stuff is artwork. Some people will disagree. Some hardcore silver pours will say if you're pouring it into a graphite mold, they don't consider it to be art. I do. I know that the cast stuff does take a lot more time. Like with my golf ball, it took way longer to do that than, say, for instance, this bar that I did. But this bar does have unique ripples, and if I poured another bar, it would look completely different than this one. So you could even say that maybe the ripple stuff is more unique than cast, because if I did another cast golf ball, it might look exactly the same as that golf ball, whereas the ripples are going to be different on every single ripple bar that I do. And this one is also number 47. So yeah, I love 47s. But so as far as price goes, I mean, you probably would get melt for it, depending on how much your coin shop pays for it. But you know, for me personally, like all this port stuff, this is all in my permastack. I've got no interest in selling this ever. I hope I would never ever have to sell a single one of these pieces. I want to keep them and just keep on collecting more because it's super fun. To me, I view it as a collection, and although they are silver, and I think that I probably would be able to get at least melt value for every single one of these ounces of silver. You know, some of them possibly even more. But I don't see them as that. I see them as collector pieces, and you know, do I view them as part of my silver stack? Yeah, I think I would include those ounces in my overall stack, just because, you know, if we get into a SHTF situation down the road, they are ounces of silver at the end of the day. One thing I do want to mention too is that I have heard people say, you know, with poured silver, you don't know if it's 999 fine silver, or you know, how would anyone be able to test, or is it guaranteed to be pure silver? You know, it's just someone pouring it in their garage or whatever. Well, if you actually melt down silver, and you've been pouring silver for a while, you know that copper, which is the most similar in weight to silver as far as its size, melts at a higher temperature. So if I was to put some copper and silver in my furnace and try and melt them both down, the silver would melt down much faster, and the copper probably wouldn't even melt at all, or it'd take an extremely long time to melt at just 2,000 degrees. And so, you know, even if I bought a round and I thought it was a silver round, but it ended up being copper and plated in silver, it probably wouldn't melt down in my furnace. There'd be a big chunk in there and I would know. And so, you know, everything that I've melted down I know is pure silver. But if you're worried about buying from someone who you're not sure if they tested, or, you know, if what their standards are for testing their silver. But one thing I will say is that if someone puts their own personal stamp on it, they're guaranteeing that that's pure silver. Like, for instance, Bunker Bullion here, Hi-Ho Silver, you know, he puts his own stamp on it. A lot of us have our own stamps, and we put our own stamp on it. And right here, so he's got 2 troy ounces, 999 fine silver. So he's guaranteeing that this is 2 troy ounces, 999 fine silver. And if you ever found out that it wasn't, you know, I know this is, but if you ever were to, then you could get a full refund from him, I'm sure. And if you wouldn't, you know, obviously his reputation would be ruined, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, when you pour your own silver and you put your stamp on it, you are guaranteeing yourself that it is pure silver. So I hope you have done your research for sure. But as far as buying silver, poured silver, I personally see it as a collection. I would never sell any of mine. I do love poured silver. I want to collect more and more and more. And like I said, there's so many awesome silver pours out there that do beautiful work that I really want to do trades for. And I actually have a couple trades in the works right now, so hopefully I'll get some more poured silver coming in soon. But I just wanted to make this video with a few different thoughts on the subject of poured, because I know there's, you know, people have different opinions on it and whatnot. And some people, you know, are hardcore silver stackers and they're just trying to buy silver at the lowest price they possibly can. And this stuff doesn't interest them at all. And that's totally okay. You know, it's your money. You can do literally whatever you want with it. You could buy silver that's just at the cheapest price. You can get generics. You can get coins if you want. Or you can venture into buying some of this more collectible high premium stuff, which is poured. And typically poured silver will have heavier premiums than just regular silver bullion, for the simple fact that it takes a long time to make. And, you know, you think, oh, all you got to do is heat up some silver and pour it into a mold. Well, if you're casting, then you got to make the mold yourself, and it takes forever. I mean, I know. But if you're just pouring it into a graphite mold, there still is an ton of work that goes into it with the stamping and polishing and everything. And so, you know, the premiums on poured silver are much higher than regular silver. You know, I say regular silver, but I'm referring to generic silver or silver coins and whatnot, because those are made by a machine and they can do it much faster and more efficiently. And so, anyway, just a few thoughts on poured. I do love it. I think it's beautiful. I view all hand poured silver as artwork, whether it's cast or in a graphite mold. And I know some people disagree, but that's okay. You know, we all have our own opinions. And when it comes to artwork, I mean, you really can have your own opinion, because art is whatever someone would view it as art. You know, I personally, let's see, I've taken one art class in college, and I've been to the Louvre in Paris. But other than that, I mean, I don't really consider myself to be a connoisseur of the fine arts. But, you know, as far as silver goes, I think poured silver is beautiful in whatever form, and I love it, and I do enjoy it. So I'm going to continue to buy it and trade for it and just have fun with it. So anyway, those were just some thoughts I had on poured silver. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons, out.